Hi all, welcome to the update from Bushcraft, from the Bushcraft company, to those of you who are going to work for SuperCamps and their product, the Bushcraft Rainforest Survival. We're going to go through a few bits and pieces throughout the session. But what is it? It's courses to make opportunity for children that might not be able to come away and do lovely residentials with a bushcraft company, but to try something different, wherever it may be across the country. They have keepsakes to take home with them, from survival key rings to charcoal pencils and camouflage tie-dye t-shirts, which is absolutely incredible. They also have activities, outdoor cookery, laser tag, and a product called Zoo Lab, which we'll go over in the next couple minutes. So what we are covering today then is what is laser tag, what is Zoo Lab, just a quick synopsis of that, a little bit on the safety differentiation, the difference in the safety, fire lighting, safeguarding as always, and then the day-to-day, just give you a little flavour of what to expect when you arrive at a SuperCamps venue. So safety first. So we need to make sure that we're making considerations for the environment. Obviously, we are operating on school grounds. It's very different to woodlands and the access that we have. This is everything from, and we'll touch this a bit more when we go on to the fire lighting, is having fires off the ground in some of the schools, having them in fire pits, or even in fire walks or fire bins. So we just need to make sure we understand where that is. It's really, really good practice for you when you first arrive at the SuperCamps venue, just to read the risk assessment and look at where the raw area is. And if it's approachable, they're approachable or applicable, please go and have a word with the site contact that we're operating, normally a school caretaker or bursar, just to double check where the area is for your own peace of mind and to show that you're taking a genuine interest in there. In some of the places, we do have the product running at a non-woodland site. This is basically in a field, obviously on a cricket oval, a rugby pitch, something like that, using various different things. Now, nothing we need really is to use as trees, apart from shelter building, but we can adapt this, as you know, and you're very resourceful people, but we do have the equipment to do so. So get a feel for your surroundings, where the boundaries are, what you're doing, look at the risk assessments, and then look at any additional risk assessments you feel applicable from your knowledge of the Bushcraft company when you're putting it on your own SuperCamps Bushcraft Rainforest Survival. Obviously, within the venue, we are restricted to certain areas because of contractual reasons. This basically means that just be aware of where we're allowed to operate, where we're not allowed to operate, and don't start walking into areas that we're not allowed to be in. This is why it's vitally important to read the risk assessments, look at the access routes, and also potentially, like I said, if it's applicable and you can do so, speak to the host venue contact, who would either be the caretaker or the bursar. So we move swiftly on to a bit of Zoo Lab. So Zoo Lab's incredible. So each course will have an hour and a half of Zoo Lab. This is where a Zoo Lab representative will come to the SuperCamps venue and they will show them a variety of different animals. This is from everything from snakes, spiders, all the way down to rats, porcupines, guinea pigs, and tortoises. It's a great interaction, and for you, you can join in and obviously help with the managing of the children. It's also vitally important to make sure that you're there earlier before the Zoo Lab instructor turns up, so the children can get the full experience. But I do invite you to go and have a look at their website as they do some incredible stuff, and you're going to be part of that this season. You're not going to deliver the session. The Zoo Lab instructor that comes in will do so. So you're there just to be with the children and just guide them through the process and act as their loco parentis guide. So firelighting. The differences are, obviously, we at SuperCamps don't use chemical. We use everything else that you might find that you do at Bushcraft, but we don't use the chemical. We use we do fire by friction, we do flint and steel, and we do the battery as well with wire wool. Children will obviously do this in a designated area, and it's vitally important that we make sure, again, that we're taking the fire off the ground if the school asks us to do so. But a lot of these schools let us operate in their forest school, which is purpose-built, which is absolutely incredible for us to use. So obviously, again, ask for permission and look at the safety. And also with this, just make sure we're very vitally, if we're doing it in a wooded area, just look around for deadfall and look up a little bit and just clear the area. Also, making a safety ring around the fire is vitally important, and also managing the amount of children that come up to the fire at once. What we don't want is everyone coming up at once. We just need to manage that process, like 2, maybe 3, depending on the size of the fire, coming up to either put more wood on, cook on it, or roast a marshmallow, something like that. So just bear that in mind and read the risk assessment. In SuperCamps, they do have a similar structure to the DSL. If you do have a concern, feel free to call the DSL team. I'm going to play a little video now just to give you an idea who the DSL team is. But feel free to speak to your camp manager if you have a concern. But you can always call 01235 467 300 and press option 5 to speak to one of the DSL teams that you'll meet in a second. And also with that, like we say in Bushcraft, please, if you feel that you need to go straight to social services at any point, feel free to do so. The number can be found in the back of the Safeguarded Concern book underneath your camp name, and that will obviously reference to an area, which then you can use the number to call. It's vitally important when you do call is that you got the full name of the child, the date of birth and their address to do so. You can find this information out from your camp manager if you wish to refer it straight to social services, but we do ask if you let us know as well. So let's watch the video. So we move on to laser tag. Laser tag is incredible. It's another external instructor-led session. It's there employed by us. A tagger instructor is employed by us. There's a few safety rules with that. You can join in. You can run around with the children and be part of that tagger. We don't mention the word guns. They're not guns. They're taggers. And we tag someone. We don't call it guns, and we're not shooting. It's tagging and tag someone. So please remember that when we're doing it. But like I said, this is another 2.5 hour session where the instructor will come in a van, set up a session, and then you go along, take the kids there, and they enjoy it with you as well, running around playing tag with lasers. It's absolutely incredible. Now, just a few points. The guns are, the tags and the taggers are obviously just a few things to remember. As well with this, it's not laser as such, it's infrared, and the flash that comes out the muzzle is just a normal light. It's no way a laser. So please just reassure the children if they have any issues. Just say it's infrared, you can't see it, you can't damage anyone's eyes or anything like that. We dress the children up in camo, as you can see in this photo of this chap here, and then with the little headpiece on top. Like I said, the tagger instructor will do everything, the safety briefing. You're just making sure the children are there on time, and you're taking them away and just looking after their welfare also. I'm going to play a little video just so you can see. It's only a couple of seconds long, but it's quite interesting. Cool. Now, going on to the day-to-day, very different to a bushcraft setup. One of the major differences is it's not residential. So as soon as you finish at 6 o'clock, you have a free evening. Unlike with bushcraft, you have to go and make sure they have dinner, do camp songs, put them to bed, do the nighttime routine. This is very different. I'm just going to put, just bring a full-size timetable up now just so you can see it. So obviously on here we have our timetable. I'm not going to go through everything because you know most of these sessions because it's very much linked to the Bushcraft company's activities, and there'll be a booklet attached to the email that this was sent on for you to have a little look at. So as you can see, children sign in from 8 o'clock in the morning. This means that they go into a central location. This is with the rest of the groups at SuperCamps, whether they're doing the cookery courses, the multi-activity courses, or even your course, the Bushcraft course. But basically, they stay together for about an hour and 25 minutes just to have social interaction with the rest of the group, and also for them to engage with other children. Within this, they'll be signed in. The camp manager will sign them in, and then they'll be able to go through to probably a main hall, but if it's lovely weather, we'll probably do it outside on a field or a football, rugby pitch, hockey pitch, anything like that. Around about 9:25, we'll start taking registers. This is when we'll split the groups up into their respective activity lines, and then you'll take a register, just so you know exactly how many children you have for the day, and then the camp manager will let you know if there's any additions, late bookings, and their details as well in this point. Then you'll go off to your camp. Obviously, when you go off to your camp, you'll be able to then start setting up the site. Prior to this, you would have done some work in the morning while they're doing the where it's free choice activity stations. You'll have a good hour just to set up your camp and get it ready for the children to come when you bring them back over for 9:40, and then you can start setting up the camp and making them make it more comfortable for them. Snacks and lunch, and the secondary snack is provided by the parents, so they'll have a packed lunch. Now, you'll probably, depending on the weather, will probably stay at your camp for snack, but come back with the rest of the group for lunch, because this is where you can take your break as well, because the rest of the instructors doing the activity courses or the cookery courses will take your group while you have lunch, and then you'll look after their groups while they have lunch. So you have a good half an hour for a lunch break there, which is great. And then you'll go back to your activity area after lunch, and then you do stuff like shelter building and tomahawk throwing, wilderness first aid, survival, tribe building games. And like I said, these sessions are much the same as the Bushcraft sessions, and you also get a nice little session plan booklet attached to the email this video was sent to. Camouflage and concealment. And then in the evening, when it gets to about 4:20, 4:25, we need to go back to the main centre of camp. This is for the camp wrap up. So basically, throughout the day, out the forthcoming days, the 3-day or the 5-day courses, you'll be asked to give out colour points. This is positive behaviour way that SuperCamps do it. So if they do something nice, it doesn't need to be anything out of the blue, but anything that's nice for that particular person, or a way to clean up camp, or the first one to clean up camp will collect 5 bits of litter. We'll get a selection of colour points. Please ask your camp manager what metric we're using for colour points that week, because what you don't want to be is giving out 1 million colour points, and then the activity instructor on the multi-activity course giving out 10 points. The colour points and the colour teams will get very different scores at the end of the day. But like I said, when we go back to the main group at 4:25, half past, we do a camp wrap up. This is where you'll sit down in your group, you'll tot up all the colour points throughout the day that you've given, and then tell the camp manager, or then tally that on the main colour points board, scoring board within the main section, normally in the hall. And then the camp manager will wrap up and then do a couple awards. This is done with our achievement certificates. So each day you'll pick someone in your group that you felt that have improved, most improved, or done something and gone out their way that you would like to recognise, and then obviously call them up in front of the rest of the camp, and then give them that achievement, and then give them a certificate as well. It's like a little bit of a award ceremony at that particular point. After the camp wrap-ups finishes, they'll go into their free choice activity stations, similar to the morning sessions. This is where they'll go back and do the various different games, board games, chill out area, read a book, art. They'll mingle with the rest of the camp at that particular point. And then at 6 o'clock, once the camp manager's given you the green light, you can go home. So you start at 8 o'clock in the morning and you finish at 6. And that is your day for SuperCamps, Bushcraft, Survival. So that's everything, all the little updates and the little idiosyncrasies, the differences between Bushcraft and SuperCamps. But if you have any more questions, please call the number shown on the screen now, and they'll be happy to answer anything. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.